This tutorial video will be on how to complete the classwork for OA.1.1. This will not be the same as your classwork, but I would still suggest working along with me and pausing in order to be able to practice the questions together. I'm going to go over a couple of the questions in this classwork sheet. This one says, Victoria has 6 pencils in her pencil box. Brandon has 4 times as many pencils as Victoria. How many pencils does Brandon have? So I'm going to start off with the person that does not have any times as many. So the person that we are comparing to. So I'm going to draw a box, and this box is going to represent Victoria, and Victoria has 6 pencils. Next, I'm going to look at the person I'm comparing that to. So after it says Brandon has 4 times as many pencils as Victoria. So if Brandon has 4 times as many pencils as Victoria, I'm going to draw 4 boxes that are about the same size as that box for Victoria, and I'm going to label it B for Brandon. Then I know that there's 6 pencils in each of these boxes because he has 4 times as many as 6. So now what I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to go back to my problem, and it says, how many pencils does Brandon have? So if I want to figure out how many pencils Brandon has, I have to put a bracket above here and put blank equals P or pencils. So I'm trying to figure out the total number of pencils. And this one actually wants you to create a number sentence. So the example up here is 3 times 3 equals 9. So my text in here should look similar to that. So if I want to figure this out, I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes, and there's 6 pencils in each. So there's 6 equal groups of 4. 4 times 6 is equal to 24. So Brandon has 24 pencils, but it's asking for us the equation. So I'm going to type in for my answer, 4 times 6 equals 24. I'm not doing this on a form I could type in, but different correct answers will look like this. Even if you use different spacing, it will still be correct. Okay, let's move down to the next question. We're going to look at question number 3. Select the statements that represent 36 equals 9 times 4. So 36 equals 9 times 4 are the ones I'm looking for. So I'm going to look. The first one says, Jose raised $4 on Monday, then raised $4 more on Tuesday. Okay, so he raised $4 on Monday, and then Tuesday he raised $9 more. Well, I don't see two equal groups, so I'm not going to be multiplying. And 9 and 4 will give me $15. So he made $15 total. So that's not that equation. Drawing pictures helps me see if the equation would be true or not. So I'm not going to pick answer A because I know that's an adding one. The next one says, Jose raised $36, then gave $9 away. All right, so he raised this amount of money. So this is $36. This is how much he raised. And then he actually gave $9 of it away. So I would be figuring out how much he has left. And I see that's a subtraction problem because I have the whole, I have a part, and I'm trying to figure out the other part. So that's not representing 9 equal groups of 4 or 4 equal groups of 9 to make 36. So that's not correct either. Oops, silly lights. The next one says, Jose raised $9 each for 4 weeks. Okay, so he raised $9 each for 4 weeks. So I'm going to draw 4 boxes for the weeks. 2, 3, 4. This is week 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the weeks. And then he raised $9 each week. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes of 9. That's 4 equal groups, and I'm trying to find out the total. So this equation will be 9 times 4 equals 36. That matches this equation, so that must be the correct answer. I would pick the third answer choice. Let's go over the fourth answer choice just to make sure, because you should always go through all of the multiple choice questions before picking one. The last one says, Jose raised $9 in 1 week. Okay, so 1 week he raised $9. And then $4 each week for 5 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are my 6 weeks. And these weeks he earned $4. Well, that is not showing me 9 equal groups of 4 or 4 equal groups of 9. So that would not be the correct equation either. So I will stick with my answer choice of answer C, or the third answer. Last one we're going to go over is question number 5. This one is kind of more of a bonus, but I think a lot of you will be able to get it. And as we continue going over order of operations, these will become easier. All right, so it says Stephen has 4 times as many baseball cards as George. George has 12 cards. Select the expressions to show how many baseball cards Stephen has. Not sure why has isn't there. Okay, so Stephen has 4 times as many baseball cards. So I will draw 4 boxes for Stephen because he has 4 times as many as George. So this will be labeled Stephen. And George has 12 baseball cards. So I'll just draw 12 for George. And then in here, I will write 12 because that's how many he has. And he has 4 times as many. So I'm going to look at the first equation, 12 plus 4. So we're trying to figure out how many cards Stephen has. So blank equals cards. And then I know my expression would be 12, because that's how many cards George has, times 4 times as many would give me 48 cards. So I have to go through these equations. The first one says 12 plus 4, which equals 16. So that would not be right. So the first one definitely is not right. The next one says 12 times 4 times 1. So as we will go over in class today more, we're going to start working a little bit with the order of operations. The order of operations is abbreviated PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P stands for parentheses. So in any type of equation, we're always going to do the parentheses first. E stands for exponents, but we're not really learning about that in 4th grade. So we just know that exponents come next, but we're not really going to see any problems with exponents yet. M is for multiply, D is for divide, A is for add, S is for subtract. And multiplication and division and adding and subtracting, they both come left to right. So whichever one comes first in the problem, we'll do first. Whichever one comes second, so we'll look for multiplication division first, then we'll look for adding and subtracting second, and we'll work from left to right. So let's look at this problem and use our PEMDAS. So the first thing I'm looking for is parentheses. I see parentheses right here, so I'm going to solve that first. 4 times 1 is 4. Then 12 times 4, so I got to bring this down because I didn't use it yet. 12 times 4 equals 48. So that would be a possible solution. So B, or the second one, would be a possible one. And this one says select all the expressions that apply, so I'm going to have to look through the rest of the expressions to see if it's right. 12 minus 4 would give me 8. So I know the next one is not right. The next one is 2 times 2 in parentheses plus 12. Okay, so according to PEMDAS, I do parentheses first. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 12. 4 plus 12 equals 16. That's not correct either. I'm trying to look for my answer, 48. So I'm going to erase this one. So that one would not be right. And the last one says this strange one that we've never seen before. 4 in parentheses 12. Well, as you will keep learning more about math, this actually means that we're multiplying those two numbers. So if you see 4 or a number and then another number without like an add, subtract, multiply, or divide next to it, that means, and there's a parentheses next to it, that means they're multiplying those two numbers. So this answer would be 48 because 4 times 12 equals 48. So E would be another answer that you would choose.